Kuddelmuddel. The Edelweiss pirates were quiet for the next few days, but one morning as I walked to school, I saw that more graffitied Edelweiss had bloomed along the red, white, and black Nazi flags on the bombed-out walls of Berlin. The Hitler Youth had won a battle against the Edelweiss pirates, but the war against them wasn't over. Neither was the real war. It was late February, the hardest part of the winter, and Germany was now fighting on 3 fronts, east, west, and south, and none was going well. Rationing was tight, new winter clothes were scarce, and 4 inches of snow had fallen on the city overnight. It was like even nature was against the Nazis. The Führer weather had definitely run out. But no one said so, of course. No one said much of anything. They kept their collars turned up and their hats down, and their scarves wrapped tight around their faces, hiding from each other as they passed on the street. But people still knew how to cross the street before they walked past me. It was the uniform. No one wanted to be caught doing the wrong thing, and no one was ever really sure what the wrong thing might be. I climbed the steps to Fritz's house and knocked on the door, stamping my feet to try to keep them warm. The door finally opened, but it wasn't Fritz. It was his little sister Lena. She was dressed in her BDM uniform and ready for school. "Is Fritz home?" I asked. Lena just stared at me. "Can I come in? It's cold out here." Lena closed the door on me. My breath came out in a gray cloud as I huffed. For days now, I hadn't been able to catch Fritz at home, which meant I'd gone days without a glimpse at the blueprints for Projekt 1065. All I needed was a few more minutes with the last page, and I'd have them all. But whatever special SRD team Trumbauer had put Fritz on was eating up all his free time. The door opened again, and Lena was dressed in her winter coat and carrying her rucksack. "No Fritz?" I asked. Lena shut the door behind her and locked it, then turned and waited. "Do you ever speak?" I asked her. Lena just stared at me. I threw up my hands. "Okay, let's go," I told her. "It's too cold to talk anyway." We walked to school in silence. I dropped Lena off at her classroom and went to mine. Fritz wasn't there either. Where was he? What was he up to? I reached into my rucksack and took out the essay we'd been assigned the day before. 10 Ways to Have Fun Doing More with Less. I walked over and put it on the growing stack on Herr Professor Dr. Major Melker's desk. His desk was what the Germans would call a Kuddelmuddel. It means a mess. Chaos, disorganization. Herr Professor Dr. Major Melker's desk looked as if he'd taken his top drawer and overturned it on the surface. It was covered in paper clips and pencils and rubbered bands and scribbled notes. The items reminded me of the game I'd been playing with Simon every night, Kim's game. I took a moment before Herr Professor Dr. Major Melker got there to practice it again. I studied each item on the desk in turn, trying to memorize everything about it. Not just what was there, but what position it was in, what its meaning might be. The pencils were all chewed at the top. Herr Professor Dr. Major Melker was nervous about something, and if anything was written on them. One of the little slips of paper buried in the Kuddelmuddel on his desk said, "Regret to inform you yours," but I couldn't read the rest. I gave the German look around to see if anybody was watching. They weren't. I pulled the paper out and read it, and all at once I understood why Herr Professor Dr. Major Melker had stopped hiding how much he hated the Nazis.